Alright, welcome to Michael Myers Monday. Recorded on a Sunday, but today I thought I'd discuss why the Thorn Trilogy works for me. Why I can watch all three movies and feel like it kind of connects. And for this video purposes, I'm going to be using the producer's cut because to me it's the better cut of the film. So, let's discuss. So, what I don't get is a lot of people are confused why, in their words, Jamie suddenly gets psychic powers in part 5. Did you not watch part 4? She has the psychic connection to Michael in Halloween 4. The nightmares she was having, the seeing Michael in the Halloween mask department store thing, all part of the psychic connection she has to Michael. And that's why at the end of the film, she does that. She attacks her stepmother, and that's why she chose the clown costume. That's why she attacked her stepmother, and that's the connection. And I mean, it's more connected. She doesn't speak. People all get pissed at that, but think about it. After Michael killed his family, or his sister, he didn't speak. She viciously attacked her stepmother, her foster mother, whatever, and now she didn't speak. The difference is she's not completely evil, like Michael. I think what was supposed to happen was that Michael was going to pass the curse of Thorn to her. But then they changed it with the 6th one. You can say, oh, you mean the 5th one? No. There was still connection for that to happen. And I think that's what should have happened. Is that she should have been passed at the end. She says, no. She should look down at her hand and notice she has the thing. Or whatever. I don't know. And they pretty much dropped that for, Curse of Michael Myers because, I don't know, they dropped the psychic connection. Personally, I think they did Jamie wrong in part 6. She was used in a totally wrong manner, but for me, when I watch all three of these in a row, again, producer's cut only, because it is the better cut. I could see these being one story. Because think about it, alright? You have Halloween 4. And Michael escapes from Haddonfield. You get the first Halloween, you gotta connect it to it. And you got Halloween 2. And you have Halloween 4. And he escapes from, he does the thumb thing and escapes from Smith's Grove. And then makes his way back to Haddonfield, where Loomis is on the way to find him. He goes after Jamie because that's the connection. And while I'm on the subject of connections, I think Laurie had a bit of a psychic connection with Michael as well. And those of you saying, "Oh bullshit," think of this. Think of this, all right? The scene I'm going to point out here is the scene from Halloween 2. Where Michael goes to attack Laurie in her hospital bed, but she's already gone. That's because she saw him coming. You're not going to convince me otherwise. There's no way anyone would know that he is right there at that point. She was there for almost up into that entire moment until he shows up, and that's just a coincidence. Bullshit. She had a connection. She saw it coming. That's just my opinion, of course, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so, yes, there's that psychic connection with Jamie, so he's after her because of it. And thanks to Loomis and a bunch of rednecks, he's thrown down the thing, and then Jamie gets the psychic connection because Michael is now night-night, so the psychic connection takes her over and temporarily makes her evil, and she attacks her stepmother. And for those of you saying, oh, but the 4th one says they killed their stepmother, not necessarily. We only see her get attacked. We don't know for a fact that she actually killed her her stepmother in part 4. All we see is a bloody pair of scissors. Could be anything, you know? And because of that psychic connection, she is now mute. And she, but that connection wakes Michael up 1 year later. I don't know why it takes a year. You could have just had it right afterwards. But who knows? But there's that connection. And now Michael is after her again. Why it has to be called Revenge of Michael Myers, I don't know. But, he's after her and he kills everyone in his way. And yes, they do Rachel wrong. Rachel should have had a better role, much like Jamie in the next one. But his goal is to get to Jamie. And he does, but once again, he's stopped by Loomis, who supposedly has a stroke or a heart attack. And I can see it when I rewatch it. I can see that. But they brought him back. They brought Donald Pleasence back again. And if they hadn't, I think Tommy could have been a suitable replacement without Loomis being there. Because think of it, Loomis isn't in the rest of part 5. So he's, according to the writing of that film, he suffered a heart attack. But money brings Donald Pleasence back for one more film. And also, I think his love of the franchise. I think Donald Pleasence was the heart of the soul of the franchise. Number 3 notwithstanding, of course. But, and then so Jamie is kidnapped at the end of part 5. And, the Man in Black frees Michael and kidnaps Jamie. And Jamie is on the run at the beginning of part 6. It connects pretty well there. Her death, and then we focus on a completely new set of characters. I think Jamie should have been the main focus. And I know that people say, when they decided not to bring her back, she didn't have that big of a role. I think that they should have written a better role for her and brought back Danielle Harris, but, it's neither here nor there now. And yes, the producer's cut does officially tell us that Michael is the father of her baby, but let's not get into that, but yes. And so now he's after the baby. Of course. And you have new characters. Not some of the best characters, like, say, John Strode or Barry Sims. But, I like Barry Sims. I like his line. I bet she wears crotchless panties and barks like a dog. I like that. I love Halloween 6 producer cut. I really do. I watch it every year. The producer's cut. Theatrical cut, not so much. I don't like the editing in that version, and but I do like the producer's cut. It's a more fleshed out film. The soundtrack is better. The ending is better for me. I'd rather see this ending than Paul Rudd and then beat the hell out of him with a whatever it was, and then Michael had green goo coming out of his face. Come on. And I've heard people say, that just means Michael's one of those robot things because it's the same stuff. No, he's not Conal Cochran's robot, but although that would kind of make sense. But we saw him as a kid, so it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know, but yeah, the producer's cut ending is better, and we see Win, and yes, the Man in Black being Win is kind of, it feels like a last minute change, and it probably was, because they had no idea what they were doing with the Man in Black. They just decided to put that in there, and the next director could deal with it. But, yeah, and the producer's cut ending gives us not a definitive end, but a way to go from that. And I've been thinking, why don't I try to build off that? Why don't I take some time? It might not be next week's video, but I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get a new notebook and I'm going to write down. I'm going to write a sequel, sort of. My idea of a sequel to Halloween 6, what I would have done. It's not going to be a full walkthrough of a script or anything, just my plot points, what I would have put in the film. And this is a maybe. It's not a full thing, and it probably won't be next week's episode because I really need to think on it. I have the basis for a beginning. Some people might not like the way I'm going, but yes, our trilogy ends with Loomis finding the mark on him and going, ah! And that's it. Which I think is a better ending because we actually see what happens over Loomis saying, I have business to do, or something like that. And then I have unfinished business or whatever, and then we just hear the screams. So I think this is a better ending. At least we see what happens. Yes, it's confusing, but most of this movie is confusing. But it's more coherent in the producer cut. So why do I think that it works like a trilogy? Like, in closing, so to speak. I think it works as a trilogy because you have a storyline that kind of goes through all three films, although with Halloween 6 it is sort of dropped with the Jamie side of things, but it still continues that idea of of what's going on, of there's something bigger than Michael going on in Haddonfield, and now, the reason why I chose the producer's cut is because there's still that Thorn element left. You know what I mean? Whereas the theatrical cut just dispatches of that. Because a bunch of 13-year-olds didn't like all that mumbo-jumbo, which I think if you're going to continue, you got to give us a concrete answer, not just rewrite everything. But I digress. I think it's a decent trilogy to watch. And I've done it before. I watched 4, 5, and 6 in a row and not felt unsatisfied with it. Like I said, producer cut. I think it's decent. A decent trilogy, and it works within the confines of the franchise. I really would have liked to see what they would have done after this. And maybe some of my ideas might work. Who knows? I have ideas. But it's going to take me a little bit to get them down. So, excuse me. Look for that. So, yes, in closing, I think the Thorn trilogy is a decent trilogy within the franchise. And it's underrated, to be honest. I think people don't give it enough credit. I think it works. I think people should give it a try more often. So what are your thoughts on the Thorn trilogy within the Halloween franchise? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. Excuse me. I'll see you in the next one. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed now. Bye-bye.